I'm going to be a little fanboyish. I grew up watching Farscape, watching a lot of your work.
Goodness.
You've been able to transition to so many different mediums. What caused you to jump to different subjects? What did you get interested in? Nat Geo, obviously the Muppet stuff, but what do you search for when you're looking for a project?
I search for good storytelling every time. And yes, I've worked in every genre. I've worked in theatre, TV, radio, film. And I get bored reasonably quickly, but I also like to do things that I find a little bit frightening. So I don't feel I'm truly being creative unless it's a little bit scary.
I love that. So we're here in Texas, so I've got to ask, you yourself live here in Texas. What does it mean to see Austin in the state that it's in? It's really blossomed and has remained a figure in the film, TV, gaming, music world. How important is Austin to the work you do?
Well, first of all, I've fallen in love with Austin, and I've particularly fallen in love with the Austin Film Society. I went to see a movie there this week. Richard Linklater was doing the Q&A. I mean, it is a thriving film community, and I feel quite strongly that all these movies are coming to shoot in Austin, and I'm very keen to bring more production to Austin.
I know there's no connection, but 100-foot journey, womb is about a walk. It seems like distance and travel is something you've connected to. Is that just a weird coincidence?
You know, I'd never thought about that. That's your brilliance. I'd never thought about that at all. Womb is a much longer journey than 100 feet. The 100-foot journey was a real passion project for me. I bought the rights to the book. It took me 7 years to get it made. I never thought that I would produce it with Steven Spielberg and Oprah Winfrey. But this project, Womb, Women of My Billion, is as important to me. It is the most remarkable story, and I've spent a lot of time, I produced TED Talks in Mumbai, and I've spent a lot of time working with women who have been victims of gender violence, and in marriages, in walking down the street, and I've helped women give TED Talks on the TED stage, and I've looked out at the audience, and every woman in the audience has been in tears because they're also victims of rape and have had terrible things happen to them. And it doesn't just happen in India, it happens across the world. And so what my interest is in this film is taking a movie and turning it into a movement. Because I think there is a way of actually creating content like this that lights a fire on people to really create change. And in the work that I've done at TED and the work that I'm hoping to continue to do on this movie, that's my passion right now. I mean, I'm getting on in years. I still want to make movies. I still want to make TV shows. But if I can take something that is really deeply meaningful and then really put a microscope on it and really, really get the story out and think of ways of changing women's lives, then I'm all in.
So film has that ability to change lives, would you say that?
Yes, I absolutely would say that. And in all different genres of films, the 100-foot journey, if you look closely at it, was about immigration, and it was about racism, and it was about cultures coming together, bridged by food. And this movie, which is a much longer walk, as you quite rightly pointed out, is really about one woman on a journey to experience and see the lives of other women, and to hear from them and to hear what they need. And also for men to hear it too. It is a remarkable film because you feel that you're on the journey with Shrishti, and by the end of the film, you want to do something to help. You want to get involved. And she and Apurva have big plans, and I think what's going to happen as a result of this movie is going to be really mind-blowing.
I think she's said in a couple of interviews, Shrishti, about being able to do the walk allowed her to get out and show more people that you can do something bigger than just where you're at and what you're going through. You yourself have traveled this earth, lived all over. How important is it for people to see how big a world we are in and how many opportunities there are, especially for women out there?
I think it's essential. I mean, now is a time when people aren't traveling so much because of COVID, but I'm always still amazed when I was living in New York the last time we produced TED in India, and now I'm living in Austin. But you go on these long plane journeys, and you get off the plane, and you are in an entirely different culture. And everybody should experience that. You know, everybody should go out of their comfort zone and to go to places where people are so entirely different, living very different lives, because what they'll find out is that we're all the same.
I think that's a perfect way to end it. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you.